Scandalous. This will be cringy. First time having phone sex. In my head though, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm watching porn. So I put my ear to the wall and I'm like, I hear moans. A back massager. Somehow it ended up in my area of sensitiveness. I had an orgasm at a very young age. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda. I am Shaunda. Hey guys, hey. I would like to start off this episode by saying that this will be cringy. So buckle your seatbelts. We're going for a ride. I do not mind sharing these certain experiences that I've had, okay? And the experiences that I've had is in this particular order that I remember, but I do not remember my age, so bear with me. I will try my best to explain these. I feel like I really didn't have the sit down face to face about sex, and learning it was pretty interesting. I want to say the way how I seen sex was through porn, and it was where everybody went to the grocery store. I want to say we were, shout out to Sam's Club, huge Sam's Club fans, and went to Sam's Club to get all the stuff. I stayed home and I was just cleaning up. My mom had the back room and we had the front room in our 2-bedroom townhouse. And I was cleaning up and they were like loose CDs. I mean, you know, you didn't have the pack of the DVD actually like you would have a CD case. So we had a CD case and there was just like multiple. When there was no space in the CD case, there was a pouch in the back that had the rest of the CDs. So I was putting them away, but I was also going through them. And there was a white CD. I didn't know. I was just plain white CD. And I'm like, okay, wonder what this is. So I put it on. And I could tell from like the video and what I was watching was very not homemade. It wasn't professional like any other movie that I've seen. So I was like, okay, I feel like I shouldn't be watching this. And I told myself that. But I was very curious, so I kept watching. And ended up watching porn for the first time. I couldn't really enjoy it because my heart was beating so fast that I was scared that I was going to get caught. So what I was doing was pausing the movie and then running to the front of the room to look out the window and like just make sure that nobody pulls up. Then I would go back and watch some more and then go just back and forth. It was so funny to me because after like I put everything away and everybody did come home, my heart was beating so fast. I made sure that I put everything in the same spot that it was in, where the DV was, like probably like 10 CDs behind it. I'm like, I just need to make sure everything was in its place, that I was not going to get caught. I found a gold mine. I found the treasure, and I was always looking forward to stay home by myself because I found that. It's just very interesting. So I want to say that was the first time I actually seen porn. The second experience that I had was a little bit older. It was like my first time having phone sex, okay? And having phone sex for the first time was very interesting because it was around the time that I think it was Skype, and I ended up talking to this boy on there. And, you know, throughout the days that we were talking, we were getting to know each other, like if he played football, what school he went to, all that good jazz, right? And for some reason, he asked me to be his girlfriend at the time. And we never met up. I think he was like somewhere across Baltimore that I wasn't making my way to because I don't think I was supposed to have a boyfriend around that time. And it's so funny to me when I did go to school and people are like, you got a boyfriend? I'm like, yeah, but he's not like at this school. He's somewhere else, whatever. We Skype. And I remember getting his phone number and we were just talking on the phone. And it was one night where I think my sisters were spending the night over somebody else's house. And I decided to go to bed and we were on the phone just talking, and that talking ended up getting a little bit extreme. And I didn't really know how to pleasure myself around that time. Of course, I'm young. I just knew, and what I've seen, it's just like a touchy feely down there. And I was trying it, but I didn't really feel anything. I didn't know what that feeling was. So I just ended up fake moaning on the phone. And I remember that we had like a falling out, and he was just saying some mean things. He's like, that's why I made you do this, and you did that on the phone, and this and that. And I'm like, I didn't know. Like, you don't know. I was like, I swear to goodness I didn't. I was faking the whole time. He's like, you lying. I was just like, so young. I was so young. And that's what happened. I would say with the phone sex thing, it just wasn't really a thing, but I made it a thing. The other experience that I had was like hanging out with, shout out to Shania, our friend Shania, and she had, I don't even know how many brothers she got, but she's brothers. They were just in the house. Their mom wasn't home and they were at work, and we were just in the house cooling. It was a hot day, and we ended up watching something and we having a conversation, but we ended up watching something on DirecTV, and it was around the time where pay-per-view was just there. They had the pay-per-view and they put it on and skipped past to the scene. And it was just so funny to me because all the girls like, oh my gosh, why do we have this on? Why do y'all have this on? And like covering their eyes. I ended up just looking at it. Reason why is because I didn't want to seem like all of them. Like, I'm not a punk. I know what sex is. I know what it is. I'm going to be cool about it. I'm like, yeah. So in my head though, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm watching porn. I should be looking away. I should look away so they know that I'm not like this type of person. I'm not a freak. There was just so many things going through my head that I'm like, okay, it is what it is. But it was funny because they pointed out like, she know what it is. She know what porn is. She's not afraid to watch it. And I'm like, yo, like at the time too, I'm like, it really is just people having sex and we're not supposed to be watching it, but it's on. So why not? It was like a whole thing that I was just telling myself, like, this is just the experience. And I had that. Shout out to them. So then another experience that I had when I think I started not to hate sex, but like I think understanding like a connection that other people have. And for me, this like involved my mom, and around the time that she was just like doing her own thing and like being herself, like as a woman. Again, as my younger self, I'm like, that's mom. She's supposed to be a saint and it's supposed to be just taking care of us. But she was dating around the time of this guy, and I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all. I just didn't want him to be in her life. It's supposed to be my dad. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know where I fell off of him because I started to like him, but then I just didn't like him. I think when I started to not like him is when I saw that they were having sex. Weird experience, not too crazy. I would say the first time I was going to the bathroom, it was in the middle of the night. I was going to the bathroom, and I heard things. My mom's door was closed, and I'm just in the bathroom. I just hear stuff. So I put my ear to the wall, and I'm like, I hear moans. My mom is having sex. No way. With that guy? Ew. Hate him. I think that's where the hate started happening. So I was just so pissed off. So there was just like, I think it was multiple nights that I've woke up in the middle of the night and heard that they were having sex. And I think my mom caught on that I would wake up, or somebody would wake up and could be hearing and listening out. So I think that made her, to make sure that she was on her tippy toes, I guess, or just to make sure that she wasn't going to get caught, she would crack the door just to hear out. But then the TV's on too, so I don't know what she was thinking. But I also had a feeling that with him, that he did it on purpose. That he probably closed the door but wanted to keep it open because he wanted to know. He wanted us to know. He wanted me to know that, yeah, I'm sleeping with your mother. So there was one time that I end up waking up, and I was so pissed off and at the end of my wits end with this, that I ended up like seeing that the door was cracked and they were just rolling around together, not having sex, but they were just, together. And I'm like, okay, I sat in a dark hallway on the floor, crisscrossed, and just looking like squinted eyes, just like, they're going to see me today. They're going to know that I know. So dedicated for them to find out. But I chickened out when somebody moved and I seen that they were about to come to the door, or she realized that the door was open and she came to the door to close it. And I got up and made it seem like I woke up, and I just went into the bathroom, straight to the bathroom. And I was just in there like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And then I walked out. The door was like fully closed. And I just ended up going to sleep. So with that experience, I would say it was just a weird time trying to figure out a connection that my mom was having, but then also, oh my gosh, she was having sex. Hearing that she was having sex around the time. Remember, when I was looking in the door, they were just rolling around. But before, in those times, I just remember always hearing moaning. I was like, oh my goodness, my mom is having sex. It's a different time. Different time. Another time, and I would like to apologize to my sisters, my older one, Stacy, and Devonia. They ended up moving back into the house, our 2-bedroom house. And their stuff was all there in the closet downstairs, and then some was like behind the couch. My sister Devonia had a back massager, one of the little back massager. I knew they had like 3 silver balls on them. And, you know, you just turned it on and had 3 different levels of putting it on your back. Someday, I don't know how, but I think I ended up like putting it on my front, on my shoulder, and just start like moving it around my whole body. And yeah, moving around my whole body and just feeling that. Somehow it ended up in my area of sensitiveness. And from there, I had my climax later on, because I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not supposed to be doing this. But I knew that I would put it back where it was. And when everybody is asleep, I would end up getting it and going upstairs on the top of my bunk bed and like just putting it down there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the sensation that I've heard about, that I've seen about. This is it. I had an orgasm at a very young age, and it was a very interesting time. I felt like I opened up the stuff, but that's everything just started rolling after that. You couldn't stop me. I wanted that thing every time. I remember I was so into it that I wanted to try it, that I risked it all. Me and Shaunda on the couch, and I had my blanket over top of me, and I had it right there. Right there. And I knew that she was like, heard it, and she ended up looking at me like, ew. I ended up stopping, and I just went upstairs. I was too embarrassed. But I was like, okay, keep it at night. Keep it to where nobody knows that I'm doing this. And that was another experience that I had. So very sorry that my sisters are finding this out on here. But yeah, now I know years have gone by. I am now in high school, this other experience that I had, and I ended up talking to my friend, and we built the relationship, and it was really nice. We weren't together, but we built the relationship of trust, and I really liked it. It was one time that I was taking a video. I wasn't on the phone with him, but I wanted to send him a video. So I was going to send a video of me like taking off my clothes, and I was taking off my shirt, and it was like multiple attempts, and it didn't work out. I ended up getting on the angle where the phone was on the floor, and I was taking off my shirt, and my sister Stacy ended up walking in the room, seeing what I was doing, like stopped and just like backed out. She was just like, okay, backed out, closed the door, and that was it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Ended up deleting the video and just staying in my room for a couple minutes. Ended up going downstairs because not everybody, she was downstairs. I think my mom and was doing hair, I don't know, probably cooking or something. And it was just never talked about. She didn't look my way. She didn't say anything. And to this day, we haven't really had a conversation about it. So it's going to be very interesting when I have her on here. Sorry, Stacy. But yeah, these experiences just really blew my mind about like what happened. And there has been very much more cringier experience that I had that I tried out. I don't want to say too much, but just know that there were some household bathroom items that were involved with me trying some things. All right. I kept it clean, but still I tried them. Very cringy. I don't want to get into it. but I was just very curious of what this sex is, what pleasure is. And I never really understood or felt comfortable going to my sisters or my mom about what I was doing or what I wanted to know about it. So I would say that just leads me into how to properly educate your kids. Don't shield them from it, because obviously they're going to find a way and know. So yeah, wild sauce. I've attempted to record this multiple times, and I always try to look for it on the day that nobody is around, but everybody is around. So I feel very short about this episode, but I'm very happy that I got it out there. So if you have any comments, about my episode, please leave them, DM me. Or if you would like to share your experience with me, please email me at imjustsharingpod@gmail.com. Please remember to rate, like, comment, and subscribe on my Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.